Hello, everyone. Welcome to Two Authors, Books, and a Beverage. I have my beverage. Today I'm drinking coffee because I got real sleepy this afternoon. Mary, you've got your drink.
Wine?
And our special guest, Virginia, what are you drinking? Oh, okay, great. To give you some sugar for this interview, huh?
I used to drink Dr. Pepper. They changed the formula here in Missouri. I don't like it anymore. So sugar, sugar, no caffeine, but sugar like.
Okay, I like
Ugh.
Dr. Pepper. I hope they're not changing it everywhere.
I hope so too, because I drink that all the time.
Yeah.
Well, like in Utah and in Arizona, Dr. Pepper is not bottled by Dr. Pepper. When I was in Ogden in Utah, Coke did it. Here it's Pepsi, and I think they just changed their syrup or something.
Oh.
I do have a bucket list item to go to Texas and try it from the source one day.
Oh, this is our guest today. Hi, Virginia. Virginia is really new to me as a new author, and I love meeting new authors. Virginia is coming to us today from Missouri. And of course, Mary is still in Utah and I'm in Arizona. So we're scattered out here, and we're so glad you come to join us and watch our interview with Virginia. And I will turn it over to Virginia to give us some insight to what she writes and some of her hobbies and what got her started writing.
Thank you. I write romance generally, usually contemporary. My last novel ended up being sci-fi though, because I was doing experimental things. I was thinking about my friends who have been assaulted, sexual assaults, rapes, and unless you write women's fiction, most romance can't really address rape. It's too scary, and I don't write suspense. So I ended up being sci-fi, and then what made it fun is when you read sci-fi or paranormal romance or anything like that, the Wolfman is sexy, Dracula is sexy, but no one's doing, but no one's doing it with Frankenstein's monster. So Frankenstein's monster. So if you look at my latest book, Let Me Die, it's a Frankenstein story, and I do have some warnings on it. A tip for you guys who are indie authors like me, make sure you know what you're doing and have your disclaimers before you post on Amazon, because my number one warning, caution, rape is addressed, couldn't go in because I didn't have it ready. So bless the hearts of my reviewers that put it in their reviews, and then people I talk to, because I don't want to trigger anybody. But I also know a lot of people that have had that happen and yet find another person and they move on and they're happy with the other person, and anyways, and so my sci-fi story is, it's a double theme thing. Like we do as authors, we can do fun things. And what I like to write is I usually have a reason for writing. And I thought Frankenstein's monster, his body as it was, whatever was him, he's hobbled together, his life was taken away from him and he was this monster. And then my female character, having her being raped, her body was used against her. So they had a reason to, and so I had some fun with some theme, and, and then plus, I think that I need to make my own genre, and it's going to be intense romance, because it's usually contemporary, usually active. Sometimes there's God and angels, and sometimes there's devils, and sometimes there's, gun-toting crazy. But it's all just plain contemporary romance. And so some people like it, some people don't, because they're not 20-somethings. They're not finding themselves and then finding love. They're finding a person that they like, and then life intervenes. And sometimes it's crazy. And like I said, in this particular case, the plot of my Frankenstein novel is he's disembodied by this point, and all she knows is she's driving this really cool van. Actually, it's a bus, and it starts talking to her. She's sure that there's somebody got a Wi-Fi router where they're hacked in, and no, it's a possessed bus. So
lovely. So I have a question.
Yes.
So your genre is so different. It's more, so do you have a lot of people who are angry with you when they buy your book?
They do. And so what I've had to do is I just put romance on my ones, and then I mark this one as sci-fi. I have one that talks about sex as the aspiration, but it's not very sexy. it talks about sex in a graphic way without being erotica, but it's got kind of a steamy cover. And
Oh, okay.
they're wearing tops, like she's wearing a bra and he's wearing a wife beater, and they're both wearing jeans, but their bodies are touching. And it's my raciest cover because it's the raciest topic. They talk about having sex before they have sex. And so people that think it's a steamy erotic get mad at me. So I will say that one might eventually have a new cover. But as I'm doing it, I've been trying to find my audience for some of my weirder books. But the other ones are they're self-descriptive. Of my 7 books, I did one compilation of my short stories. Kind of be like a mixtape. You want to see how Virginia writes? Try one of her 5-minute stories. But I have an FBI story, and then I have a sister story that's also FBI. But I have one I wrote as like a love story to my hometown that's all farms and Christian living and 20-somethings that I want to buy this farm, which is something that people do. And so and I wanted to write it because as a 20-something, I don't write young adult romance like the college era.
Yeah.
But my characters are semi-mature because they're living in the real world.
Right.
And so, yeah, so that one's really fun because why would she do that? Well, she's been running the farm since she's 18. Now that she's 25, trust me, she's a little bit deeper than some of the 20-somethings, because she's been running this farm.
Especially today. Yeah.
Especially today, yeah. And especially the kind of people that would be looking to buy 3 or 4 sections of ground, when you're talking about spending millions of dollars, takes a little bit of, and 20-somethings can do it, even though, so, but my books are all, I find that I read everything. I'm a voracious reader. But I'm all for the happily ever after. Torturing my characters can sometimes be hard on me, so I like to have them in torturous situations instead of torturing them. But I do think it's fun, especially when someone needs to grow up and realize what's in front of them. So I like to do that. So yeah.
Right. I had a question. I think it was profound, but I'm not sure, but I can't remember it. So
do you write every day?
I'll come back.
Okay. I don't write every day, Judy. That's a good question. I should write every day. I actually write on my phone and my tablet and my computer. Yeah, I share files. I like to write while I'm watching TV on my tablet, especially. And I'm a pantser writer, as in I plot it in my head and then I write when it comes out. And when I write every day, I get books done. And I've been not writing every day because of crazy. And so I'm working on that. So like today, I will be writing, working on, I've got a couple works in progress that I have. I find when I'm really busy, if I can do that sentence that's this chapter and then just fill it in later. I also like to write out of order. I'll write the scenes as they hit me. And then I move around in my file where it goes. So yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed because I could never do that. I have to write. I'm a pantser, but I got to write, as I go. Otherwise, I confuse myself. And okay. So I had it there a minute ago what I was going to say. And
do you also work outside the home?
I do. I have a full-time job. I work for the government. I was a data scientist. I've been switching jobs. I moved, my agency has offices across the country. So when I moved from northern Utah to western Missouri, I switched jobs, and I'm going to be switching jobs again just because I can. But I work from home. And so I find I have to have a different zone to write on. And so what's fun is I close the work computer and open the personal computer. And that's how I change my dudes. Yeah.
I remember, how do you write on your phone? I can't even text without making mistakes because I'm so fat fingered.
Well, I'll show you. This is one of my, it's really tiny. I try not to, because see how small that is?
Yeah.
Even when I turn it sideways. And you can see my little pictures. I'll see what I'm trying to
I would need my cheaters to read that.
So what in reality I do is I write on my really big iPad.
Okay.
And I'll show you. And this works because this is my iPad Pro. Right. If I can open it up. But I think what I do, Mary, is if I have to, I'll zoom in on my phone and then I'll pick up on my iPad. And then I go into my Mac when I'm ready. But I found that I do this when it's really hot, right? And what I realized is like opening Dragon or some other voice activated thing in your car when you're thinking, I can type really quick some things. But if it's really bad and I have to do a lot of writing, I do not do it on my phone. It's too small.
Yeah.
But if you're desperate, I have done it.
Okay.
Because what I find is like, because I work from home, right? I'm
Right.
usually working on something when I go to get groceries, for instance, or go get gas. And the last time it happened, my husband had to go get something from work. I rode with him. He interrupted my riding to drive across town. And as I'm sitting there waiting for him, and I had about 20 minutes, I had to get down. I was in a mood. And so I find that when you're really good writing, keep writing. So yes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And any software that shares your, I don't know how, I'm using Apple products, but I know Word will do it too. If you're working in the cloud, you can,
Yep.
your device will open it.
Yep. So what agency do you work for?
I am an evil person. Most people hate me.
Taxes?
I do work for the Department of Treasury, i.e. the Internal Revenue Service. Have done all my life. This might tell you why I write. When I was 20 something, I worked at a daycare as a female in northern Utah. My choices were work at the grocery store or the gas station or, childcare. And I did that. And then I took basically the civil service test like you take for the post office and became a tax examining clerk. And they didn't care that I had a pair of girls. They paid me the same as the boys. And they gave me full-time work at night. So I only worked at IRS to give me health insurance and pay my car payments while I was going to school. And then as I got out of school, I realized I had a real job. And so I stayed. And like I said, I'm a data analyst right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like when Congress talks about what's happening at IRS, I give them the data.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
So,
and by the way, this is the IRS picture. I hate this place.
so have you always worked from home or just since COVID?
Just actually only since I switched jobs. IRS, you're working with people's tax returns. You're with the tax returns. So it wasn't until I did more analytical stuff.
Right.
I actually spent the last 10 years writing training material for them, and I could do that remotely because when we're writing training material for the whole nation, we would go to places and talk to people, and then we would edit this product. So I would work between email and SharePoint and write stuff remotely. So yeah.
Okay, our time is up, but we
don't hate me because I'm an IRS employee.
Yeah, okay.
It's like, oh, she does taxes. We got to go.
I'm interested in your writing and your books. Tell us where to find you.
Yes. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I have my website. My only online presence is me, and I write under my married name, Virginia Babcock. You Google me, you can find my website. All my stuff is on Amazon. And I would love to hear from you guys. So I do have an open call. If there's a book you want to taste, but you're not sure you want to pay for it, you ping me, however you want to message me, and I will give you a free Kindle copy in exchange for your honest review. I'll do that for anybody anytime.
Great to know that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, will you go onto our Facebook and remind them of that?
Yes, I will.
Because the people that are going to come in and listen to this video afterward, they may highly be interested. Okay, it's been fun, Virginia, and it's so nice to meet you, and I'm so glad you joined us.
Me too. And I will be sure and get your website up there along with the video, and the video will be coming later tonight after we eat dinner. So
okay, have a good evening, guys.
Okay, have a good evening, and I'll see you in Salt Lake City in August.
Yep, I'll be in Quills in August. Absolutely.
Okay. Right. See you guys.
Bye guys.
Bye.